Hey guys, it's Broken Angel, and we are playing my Dear Hatchet Man. This is another visual novel, and it's been catching my eye lately when I've been scrolling through itch.io, so let's get started. I'm excited for this one. What is your name? As usual, we go with Angel. What is your gender? I'm female. Yes. It was somewhat of an old habit of mine to walk. Every night I walked. Due to the consistency of my routine, walking has helped me to put my mind at ease and numb out the fresh, cool nights. Besides, it was a good source to wear me down before bed. I don't have to rely on sleeping meds as much. There was nothing fun about laying in bed, having my eyes glued to the ceiling and dissociating. Yeah, there's nothing fun about that at all. I have become so familiar with the path, staring at the same damaged sidewalk, hitting a couple of pebbles with the tip of my shoes. I would usually disappear into the woods for 20 minutes or so. I wouldn't call myself a nature lover per se. Hell, I could not imagine myself abandoning my phone. But at night, the woods were all I wanted. I don't know why, but this has been the only place that gave me motivation to move, to get out of bed. College hasn't been too kind to me, and having just moved out on my own, just recently made me feel all the more isolated. Was there something wrong with me? No. Taking little walks to relax at night to sleep is normal. I never strayed from my path. It has particularly become burned into my memory, and I was kind of proud of that. It was like my own little secret hideout where, if I could, one day just disappear from it all. However, today I feel bold. And so I wandered off from my usual path, heading to the wild. At first, the new environment felt nice. Without noticing, time kind of flew by and all sense of my direction withered away. I now find myself confused and alone in the woods. Fuck. I couldn't recognize any noticeable landmarks to help my way out. Oh, how funny is this? I feel like the final girl of a campy slasher movie being tracked down by the killer. Fuck, I'm so stupid. Stupid. Of course I was going to end up lost. Great, not only am I lost, it's dark, no stars, only the faint light of the moon not doing much help, but I'm losing sleep as we know it. I could feel the soles of my feet starting to ache. Perhaps now might be a good time to collect myself before I have a full-blown meltdown in the middle of the woods. I lay my head low, feeling a heavy weight on me. I took a few deep breaths. Cry or stay silent. If it was me, I'd probably cry. Too late, I couldn't help it but feel warm, frustrating tears run down my face. I let out a few soft sobs, forcing myself to stay as quiet as possible. For God's sake, I really don't know where the hell I am. Snap. The deafening silence was abrupted by what seemed like a twig. What the hell made that sound? I jumped, startled. I took a few steps back, nearly losing my balance. Wherever that sound came from, I didn't see anything. Oh, don't cry. A muffled voice came from behind me. I quickly turn around and see a person. I still could not make out his features well. His hair was wild, sticking out from the top of his head. He was holding something. A hatchet? Am I about to get murdered? My muscles tensed up as I prepared to make a break for it. He seemed to notice my mannerism. Hey. He held up his hands, letting the hatchet slip from his fingers into the grass. His movements were slow and harmless. Take it easy. Who the hell are you? Just some guy trying to help you out, that's it. That wasn't very comforting at all. Especially now that he reached over to the ground, retrieving his hatchet and casually swung it over his shoulder. Why the hell did he sneak up on me like that? Was he in the woods? Has he been following me? Where did you even come from? I live here actually, just a couple of miles, got my own place and everything. Why do you have an axe? Also, I wasn't crying. It's a hatchet, first of all. Sure. Are you gonna murder me? What? No, I was getting some firewood. It is starting to get cold around here. I was still trying to come down from the adrenaline. I didn't even notice the chilly breeze. I started connecting the dots. He was probably telling the truth. I'm not at all experienced in forest living. Who am I to tell him what he doesn't know, what he's talking about? So why exactly did you come here? Well, you want to get out of here, don't you? I know my way around. Maybe I'm being too paranoid. He doesn't seem like he has any intention of hurting someone. See, Angel? Not everyone is out to get you. Just follow him so he can take you back home. Judging by those scars, though. In case you're still skeptical, you can go behind me. Oh, the art style's so cute. He offered out his hand. Of course, I hesitated, but I took it anyway. I could feel his fingerless gloves as he gave my hand a tight squeeze. He had some coarseness, but it didn't bother me. It took us a good while to get back. I must have really wandered way far off than expected. The trees were becoming less dense, and I could see his traits more and more. His eyes were particularly striking. They were both different. I shouldn't be staring, seems kind of rude. In fact, the whole time I've been acting rude, huh? Hey, Sorry for being kinda reluctant back there. He simply shrugged and smiled at me. I don't blame you. I mean, if I was in your position, I would have probably freaked out if I saw some random guy with an axe approach me as well. Hatchet. Sure. That seemed to get a laugh out of him and let some tension as well. It's been a while since I laughed. Nowadays, it's been feeling like I have been so isolated. I'm surprised I could achieve a conversation with him, let alone other people. Yeah, I know that feeling too. With time, the dirt path merged with the edge of the sidewalk. Thank God we made it. What a relief. Oh, there you go. Oh my God, thanks. I didn't notice that I was still holding his hand. He gave me a small smile before I stuffed my hands into my pockets. Other than having a breakdown in the woods, this entire experience wasn't that bad. I'll see you around then. He continued to stand in his place while I turned my back from the woods, walking into my neighborhood once again. Stopping at the front door, I gave him one last wave. I couldn't really tell from the distance, but he seemed to wave back. That was cute. I'm so tired. Exhausted. I immediately threw myself onto my bed, finally able to get some rest. My eyes, they feel heavy. That stranger, he seemed nice. I didn't catch his name. I'll ask him tomorrow. My body is aching. It feels like someone is on top of me. Oh God. How long did I sleep for? It seemed way too bright to be early in the morning. I guess it must have been incredibly late when I slept. Last night, memories started flooding back to the encounter I had with that stranger in the woods. I feel some sort of mix of comforting jitters sinking in. I had only moved in a few weeks ago, but now knowing that he has been in the woods the entire time I have been exploring them, it was a little uneasy to process. It's like a part of my privacy has been exposed. To be fair, I do feel a little silly thinking that. I didn't own the woods. If anything, I invaded his privacy by going off my usual path. Although I haven't lived here for very long, I am surprised I haven't heard about a man living in the forest. Then again, it's not like I am really chatty with the neighbours to inform me about it. Was I thinking too much about this? Am I being insensitive? Should I be feeling like I want to run into him again? I didn't ask for his name. Let's check on phone. Before doing anything, I wanted to catch up on what has been happening. I only see one message. It was an unknown number. Oh, open message? Hey. Do you know the chapter we are studying for English? This is Erica, by the way. Oh. Erica, I remember her. She's part of my class. I could recall we exchanged phone numbers because our professor recommended it. She was the one who approached me. Didn't talk to her a lot. She didn't seem like the type, but would casually answer questions in class. One thing that stuck out, however, was that she had an incredible style. She had an eye for colours and patterns from what I could tell. It was surprising that she wasn't taking a fashion course, but instead an interior design course. Erica was cool and seemed like she had her shit together, unlike me. Chapter 4, I believe. With a groan, I forced myself up from the comfort of my bed. To be honest, it seemed better to do something than be slacking around in my sheets. This has been the first time I've been motivated to do anything in a while. That's kinda sad. Ding! Thanks. Sorry, can you tell I don't text often? That made me smile just a tad. It seems like a stupid decision to go back to the forest just to thank some stranger. Dangerous, some might say. I mean, at least the sun was still out, so it wouldn't be as bad as staying in the woods at night, right? I stuffed my phone in my pocket and prepared to get ready. I walked back into the familiar path. The cool air was sharp as ever. I could feel it nipping at the tip of my nose. I tried to recall the path I took that initially got me lost yesterday. It didn't take long for me to fall back into a daze, feeling sensely strayed. Alright, Angel, just thank him and you can go on your merry way and get some shut-eye. Simple as that. Thoughts started to speculate in my head the more I paced around in a frantic circle. Why am I being stupid? He should be here, right? Why did I think this was a good idea? It would be nice to have someone to share the woods with. What if he hurts me? Like he did... Oh, you're here again? Oh, thank God. It might have been my desperation, but the sound of his voice took off a huge wave of relief. I turned around too eagerly, seeing a smug expression on his face. He made me happy in a way. You seem to get easily lost. So what if I wasn't here to help you out? Doe eyes. His comment made me play with the hem of my sweater. I could feel my cheeks starting to burn. Hopefully he didn't notice. Well, I actually came to see you. Why did I say it like that? I wanted to thank you, properly, I mean. I know I already did last night, but I might have come off as crass, and I still feel bad about that whole ordeal. I started to ramble at this point. I need to get this over with before I come off as hysterical. So, thank you. I'm sorry. Alan. I'm sorry? My name is Alan. Might as well get it out of the way. I'm sorry, guys. completely random, but someone I know. Oh, well, thanks for helping me out, Alan. I gave his name a try. It came out softer than how I usually speak. I noticed him begin to smile, avoiding I can't even speak now. Sorry. I noticed him begin to smile, avoiding eye contact. I was beginning to feel silence between us start to grow. No problem. Besides, it is really sweet of you to come back just to tell me that. Oh, he was flirting. It flattered you. It was kind of cute how he became so bashful then flirtatious so suddenly. I couldn't help but to smile back at him. We began to start a whole different conversation from there. At first it was just regular small talk. Most of it is about me, of course. I told him what I did for a living and what I was currently studying. He seemed to be a good listener, or at least I think he was trying to be. It became evident that I kind of ran out of things to talk about. It was only fair to ask about him, right? I don't want to make it seem that I only like talking about myself. Not to sound rude or anything, but I'm a little curious about your whole thing here. Oh. I know, I just moved in and it's none of my business, but why do you live all the way out here? How come no one has ever told me about you? He seemed to give some thought to my questions. He simply gave me a shrug. Dunno, I always figured I lived better on my own, I guess. At least that's what I think. So maybe he was a bit of a hermit. I totally don't mean to judge him. In a way, I kind of do feel for him not wanting to interact with others. He was just a little more on the opposite end. Maybe he thinks I'm the weird one for wanting to interact with him? It's not every day someone just comes back to thank you for helping them out of the woods. For a loner, he sure was easy to talk to. He was the one to first start a conversation better than I ever could. Hey, he snapped me out of it like he knew I was about to get lost in my thoughts. Wanna go check something out? I think you might like it. I blinked. The way he worded it sounded very vague. I don't know, it depends. Are you gonna trick me and plan my murder? Sounds very fishy of you, Alan. I joked, and he seemed to get a good laugh out of it. It was not a very good joke, but it felt good to just laugh with someone. Maybe I needed this. I just needed to talk to someone. I mean, now you got me curious. I might as well, right? Good. He seemed extremely pleased that I agreed. He took hold of my shoulder to guide me to the direction he planned to take me. We both took our time walking through the forest, having a whole casual conversation to make it up for it. It felt like being reunited with an old friend and trying to catch up on your lives together. It was nice. I began to share some stuff to Alan that I haven't been able to talk about for a while. In return, he told me little things about himself. I took notice of him trying to crush crunchy leaves under his shoes, sometimes getting bummed out if one didn't crunch. It was kind of cute. I noticed his skin looked slightly more sickly pale, tiny but still noticeable scratches across his cheeks. And his eyes bore dark circles. It almost looked like he was about to collapse, but he looked so gentle. He seemed to have noticed that I was looking at him. Oh no, I got caught. I ducked my head, scratching the side of my cheek. Before I could come up with an excuse that I totally wasn't staring at him, Alan pushed my head down, getting onto my knees rather painfully. What the Shh. Alan crouched down beside me, carefully moving closer to what seemed like a small stream, with wildflowers and vegetation, almost like a mini meadow, covering the entire land. Then I see a deer. It was happily nibbling on some grass, and on occasion would twitch its cute fluffy tail. Both me and Alan didn't move a muscle, so as to not scare the cute creature, but we still enjoyed the view. Little cutie, ain't he? I always come here to see if he's around. That was adorable. Who knew Alan had such a sensitive soul? At least that's what I thought. It may not come as a surprise to you, but my favourite animals are deers. Is that why you called me Doe Eyes before? Do I remind you of a deer, Alan? Alan stayed quiet, a little taken back by my question. However, another sound stopped him from responding. He got lucky. Huh? They're new. Another deer emerged from the wood, joining in. I couldn't deny that it was rather an adorable sight to see. Maybe it's more than one reason. What was that? It was barely a whisper. I could only manage to hear a few words from him. Nothing. Anyway, want to grab a bite to eat? I know there's a store not that far from here. Why not? I am getting peckish. He swiftly got to his feet again, not bothering to dust off his clothes. He still had the decency to hold out his hand for me to get up. Alright, we probably won't take long if we get going now. Much like before, he kept holding my hand through the entire walk back to civilization. It stopped feeling so foreign, as if I knew Alan and trusted him enough to hold hands. I don't know why he made me feel so safe. I feel melodramatic thinking about it. Everything seemed to get blurry, and I could feel my stomach doing flips. It was then that the obnoxiously bright lights of the store pulled me out of the trance. Sorry, just gonna turn the music down a bit. That should be better. Okay, there were a couple of people in this small store, most of them adults collecting some boxes of beer. Alan started scanning around as if to memorize where everything was. His attention was immediately caught by the ice aisle, his smile brightening like a child. Pick anything you want, it's on me. How generous of him. I looked around and decided to get sushi. I quickly ran to the side of the store, grabbing myself a huge cup of frozen syrupy goodness. They were fairly cheap. Got everything? Yeah, let's go. We left the store basking in our glorious treats. Alan proceeded to scarf his ice cream down. You're gonna choke yourself eating it like that. Then that's how I want to go. Here lies Alan, death by ice cream. He dramatically put his hands on his heart and lowered his head all gloomy. I snorted and playfully pushed him, though I could barely manage to make him lose his footing. People will think you died from lactose then. I mean, I kind of am lactose intolerant, just a bit. And you took that risk? I like to live on the edge. I roll my eyes. No, seriously, I stole 5 chocolate bars while nobody was looking. What? You shoplifted? He gave me a proud smirk, unzipping his coat, showing me his loot. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't fucking believe it. This man just robbed a store. How did I not even notice him? He must have been real sneaky or quick. You should see the look on your face right now. He reached in, grabbing one from his stash. You can't just... That isn't... I said it was on me, right? They aren't gonna waste their time over some shit like stolen candy. Besides... His fingers fidgeted with the wrapper, prying it open and taking a bite before nudging it towards me. Stolen stuff tastes better. Hesitantly, I reached over and took the tiniest bite. I couldn't explain it, but he was right. It was like the forbidden candy bar. Still, I feel kind of bad that he went out of his way to steal stuff from me. offer him a taste of yours. It only seemed fair, right? It was the least I could do. I motioned my slushie towards him. At first he gave me a confusing look, but soon got the hint. He leaned down, accepting my offer. Unknowingly, he grazed the top of my hand as I held the cup. Or maybe he did. I could feel him tightening his grip slightly as he looked up at me. I could feel the tips of my ears beginning to heat up. I could not look anywhere else besides his gaze. You have good taste, doe eyes. He only smiled at me before walking away and continued to eat his forbidden chocolate bar. Hey! I followed him soon after. We walked all the way back to my house, eating the stolen candy. I got some sort of cheap thrill knowing we could have potentially gotten caught, and Alan shared that feeling as well. Being with him was thrilling. I didn't notice how late it has gotten since I soon reached the comfort of my bed. I felt tired, sure, but I also feel satisfied, at ease. Whatever I felt, I knew I was going to see him again tomorrow. Huh? I open my eyes, but I can't see anything. I try to feel around, but nothing appears to be in front of me. Fingers start tightening around my throat. I started to claw desperately. My lungs feel like they're about to collapse. Holy shit. What a way to start the morning. Let me check the messages. For fuck's sake, it isn't even a person that woke me up. Instead, it was my goddamn emergency alert. Something about another missing person seems like it is out of my control. My head was pounding and I felt incredibly drained. The time reminded me that I got only a measly 3 hours of sleep last night, a half-empty bottle of sleeping meds on its side. I did not want to get up. I wanted to see Alan though. I wonder what he was going to plan today. He had a knack for keeping me on my toes and surprising me. He makes me feel warmth every time I think about him. He was kind of strange, but it was charming in a way. Well, if I was ever going to see him, I might as well get ready. Despite the rough morning, I didn't feel quite as tired as I did before. It could be because I was pretty much looking forward to meeting up with the local cryptic man I met just 2 days ago. It was certainly worth getting lost in the woods just to hang out with Alan. Much better than wasting my time being cooped up inside my home, water bottles and dirty laundry taking up the space. Right on cue, I see Alan from the distance, waiting for me, I presume. He appeared to be playing around with his hatchet before noticing my presence. He cutely waved at me with the biggest grin on his face. Did he always have sharp molars? Angel, you made it! Hey Alan, sorry if I was late. Not really, you're right on time actually. Really? Huh? I figured because of my lack of sleep, I would have arrived later than expected. Alan rested his hands on his knees, trying to get to my eye level. He was really close. Ready for what I have planned for today? He flashed me a hopeful smile. How could I say no to his excitement? Yeah, let's... Before I could answer, my phone went off. Sorry. It feels rude to answer a phone call while Alan is around, waiting for me to answer it. But what if the call was something important? Hey, what's up? Immediately after speaking, I looked over to Alan, who seemed to have an annoyed expression on his face. Sorry if I'm bothering you at the moment. I know it's the end of the week, and trust me, I want nothing more than to shun the rest of the world as well, but I want you to meet me at the park. Is that okay? I don't see why not. Erica might have needed something from me. It wouldn't be cool to leave her like that. Sure thing. Can I bring a friend over? My eyes hovered over to Alan. His annoyed face now brightened when I mentioned him. Although once I took my eyes off of him, I could have sworn that his smile dropped once again. As long as you get your hermit ass over here, I don't see the harm. Don't be late or I'll end up ditching you. I couldn't tell if she was joking or not. She has a strange sense of humour that sometimes flew over my head. We both hung up and I looked back to Alan. His displeased face was replaced by a curious one. Whoa. He appeared to be looking at my phone. Guess I have been gone for a while. What? My phone? You've never seen a phone before? Oh no, not that. I do have a phone, but... Alan proceeds to reach in his back pocket, pulling something out. It was a phone, an old flip phone. I haven't seen these bricks for what seemed like forever. Mine isn't as cool as yours. He smiled bashfully before putting his phone away. Wow, you need to get caught up with the current times, Alan. Our phones do much more stuff now. That's incredible. We both started to walk to the park as I showed him all the apps I had. Being in the woods, there wasn't any steady signal, so showing him any type of social media was thrown out the window. Nevertheless, he was still impressed as I bombarded him with this new information. If what he said was true, then he must have been off society for a long time. A really long time. Why was he in the woods? What happened to him? I did not realize that huge scar on his arm. Were those stitches? Oh God, Alan, what happened to you? Both me and Alan continued to talk about our day as we made our way to the park. I wonder why Erica wanted me to come. We didn't have to study or do anything class related, which is what she usually calls me for. She told me that she doesn't usually date classmates or hang out with them outside of class because, well, too many guys thought they had a chance of borrowing my bras and were disappointed after I had the gall to reject them. What? That's just freaking weird. Yikes. Probably why she decided to approach me rather than any of the male classmates. Angel! A voice I didn't recognize called my name. Alan puts on a displeased look, his eyes watching the other side of the park. I could see two people. One I could immediately recognize as Erica. The other person, however, I've never seen him before. How did he know my name? Oh my God, Angel! Hi. This guy was sure eccentric. From the tone of my voice, he could tell I was confused. Do you not remember me? He sounded kind of disappointed. Geez, dude, now you're making me feel bad. I gave him a good long look, the hamster wheels in my head beginning to move. Actually. Stu? The guy gave me a smile and a wink. Right on. Oh my God, it was him! I could see the life nearly draining out of his eyes. I could barely hold my excitement in. Stu was a good friend of mine back since we were kids. Even before the two of us attended school together, we knew each other. It was when I left for college, we kind of lost touch. Why couldn't you just greet me yourself, you bozo? I wanted to surprise you. What a guy, he always had something up his sleeve. He seemed quite as pleased as I was. I didn't think I would have missed him so much. Oh, I totally forgot. I have been so caught up with Stu and Erica, I seem to have just left Alan out of the conversation. However, by the look of his face, it didn't appear that he wanted to be a part of this. I kind of felt bad. This is Alan. Hey. His tone was very uninterested. The three remained silent after Alan greeted himself. Erica had this look in her eye. I couldn't tell what she was thinking, but she appeared to be deep in thought. Please, somebody break this silence. Say something. Great, looks like it's up to me. So wait, All three of them looked at me at once I spoke. How did you and Erica even know each other? Stu remained silent, but Erica spoke up for him. Oh, he approached me after seeing me talking to you after class, saying that he knew you. I was a bit stunned. Did Stu go to the same college as me and Erica did? That's a bit questionable. Alan spoke up. It was a little startling since he has only said one word in the entire conversation. Erica only eyes him while Stu seems to become stiff. Things seem to have gotten a bit out of hand now. Why didn't you just approach Angel in the first place? That's true. Why didn't he? Stu was always the type to make the first move when greeting someone. Hey now. It's a little rude to intrude on someone when you've first met, don't you think, big guy? You're avoiding the question. The two were now staring at each other down. Me and Erica looked at each other as if we were both read each other's minds, plagued with worry. Surprisingly, Erica stepped in. Thank God. If you really want to know, he approached me first because he was asking for my number. That makes more sense. Oh, I see. What? Angel. No, I get it. I'll see you around then, Stu. It was at this point Alan took hold of me with a satisfied look on his face. Without a word, he took me away from the park. He wrapped his arms around me protectively. I can't explain why, but him being so close to me like this brought me comfort. He gave me a comforting smile, which I also returned. Angel, wait. Ugh, you guys can, go away now. I looked back, seeing Erica running up to me, Stu right behind her. I do feel bad for leaving them behind at the drop of a hat. Alan looked at me, shaking his head disapprovingly, as if telling me that talking to them wasn't worth it. Let me explain myself, please. Listen. I couldn't leave him like this. He was my friend. My first ever friend. Alright, Stu, go ahead. He side-eyed, looking to the ground and fiddling with the pockets of his pants. Listen, Erica worded it weird. I know that back then I wasn't, well, what I mean is that please don't perceive me in that type of way. I really just wanted to see you. I heard enough, Stu. I gave him a reassuring smile. Remembering Stu back then, he was kinda a flirt with everyone. It shouldn't surprise me that he tried to get with Erica. I don't know if I got upset at Stu for still getting into his old ways, or that I got upset that he was flirting with Erica. His antics. Even back then it bothered me, and I didn't know why. Maybe because he was my friend, and every time he had a fling, I couldn't get to hang out with him. I breathed out, still smiling at the two. I know you're trying your best. I am. He said it so seriously, but yet with so much sincerity. And with that, I left with Alan. I tried to relax, tried to distract myself. I was bundled into a ball at the end of my couch, Alan sitting on the other side. The living room was dark, with only the light of the TV giving any life. My attention wasn't on the TV, however. It was towards Alan. His eyes stayed glued to the screen before he shifted them in my direction. This is the second time I've been caught staring at him. I averted my gaze immediately. I must have been weird to him. You okay? I'm sorry. Are you still upset about what happened? I didn't want to really answer, but my silence was deafening. I'm being stupid, sorry. I don't know why I got so upset. I couldn't control it. I could see him softening his face at the corner of my eye. I didn't know why I started rambling to him, but I did. I suddenly felt a weight on top of me. I was being pushed down onto my back. Alan had pinned me, his hands gently wrapping around my wrists. Angel, you know you can tell me anything. Alan, my heart started to pound and I felt him starting to come closer to my face. I went stiff. Ooh. Kiss him. I pressed my lips against his. He seemed to be taken by surprise but leaned into our kiss. It was deep and passionate. Alan then pressed up against me and I could immediately feel his excitement. I really like your doe eyes. I shivered. His breath tickled the lobe of my ear. You have no idea how you make me feel. Every time I look at you, my heart swells. It's like I want to hold you and never let go. Ever. His choice of words made me feel something. Although it sounded a tad possessive, he made me feel wanted and cared for. His hands started trailing from my wrists, making their way all over my body. Ooh. Oh man. I keep finding these ones where it gets a little bit too much into it. Let him continue. Alan peppered kisses from my jaw to my collar. Everything about you is perfect. I want to treasure you. You're the only good person in my life. How could he even speak like this with no sweat? Just hearing those words made me look away in embarrassment. I suddenly feel his hands take hold of my face, pulling me towards his direction. Look at me, doe eyes. I want to see your reaction. He shouldn't be this good. Arousal started growing inside of me. One quick, swift motion, he hooked. Okay, alright. I'm gonna have to skip this bit, okay? Holy shit. I saw a scar. A huge scar. In fact, his whole body was covered in injuries. He was in way worse shape than I expected. More scratches, cigar burns, and again the scar at the side of his abdomen. It didn't look fresh, but still, how long has he had these for? Alan, what happened to you? Oh, these? He looked away from my gaze, brushing one of his scars. Some of these are from childhood, others are more recent. We both stood silent, with my concern still weighing down. Don't worry about it. Alan, these are clearly not simple scratch marks. Are you hurt? It's okay, doe eyes, I swear, they didn't even hurt. What? What is he going on about? I'll explain later, just please, let's keep going. I want you right now. I shouldn't push it if he doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. It's okay, doe eyes, you can relax. Hey, I got an idea. Do you plan on robbing the convenience store again? Alan got up from my chest, rolling his eyes. I'll leave that for another day, but no, I think you'll like this much better. He took my hand and guided me back to the woods. It was a bit of a walk, like most of our little get-togethers, but for some reason it felt longer than before. Gradually the trees become sparse and patches of the night sky peek through the branches. We were going uphill, having a bit of a hike on our way there. He seemed to have noticed that I was getting fatigued. If you want, I can carry you. It's no bother. Ooh. You can carry me. It's romantic. It seemed a little silly, but I wouldn't mind. I raised my arms up, motioning him to pick me up. He smiled at me and just as quickly lifted my body, carrying me bridal style. That's cute. You're incredibly cute. Shut up. See? Let me just turn the music down a bit. Okay. We both lay down on the soft grass. The sky was completely bare of any clouds, and the darkness of the woods made the tiniest dots of the stars twinkle brighter. It was so nice and cool out here. I looked over to Alan, eyes glowing with awe. It made me smile, seeing him like a kid in a candy store. What's your favourite? Constellation, I mean. What's your favourite constellation? I'm gonna go with my zodiac sign. My favourite constellation is my zodiac one. Really? Which one? I am... Whoops, what? My one's not here. Why not? That's rude. Okay, we're gonna go back. Let's go Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, that's a good one. Did you know you can find the galaxy of Andromeda by using that constellation? Really now? Yeah, it's hard to see, obviously, and it looks like a regular star through the naked eye, but it's there. Yeah? Which one is your favorite? Orion. The hunter one? Why is that? The story behind it is cool. And I share the same last name. Alan Orion? That's your full name? Alan simply gave me a nod, sighing peacefully, taking in the fresh air around us. You sure know a lot about constellations, huh? Yeah, ever since I was a kid. This was probably the first thing I know something personal about him. My eyes went from looking at the stars to the stitched scar of his arm. Alan. About those scars? Oh. I see his smile drop and I immediately feel bad for bringing it up. I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but it's okay. You're just worried about me, right? I give him a nod, laying on my side, looking over to him. I gave him a few moments for him to collect his thoughts. He finally spoke up. Well, to start off, most of these scars are recent, only due to me and my recklessness. Like? Like trying to feed a bear. Alan... I know, it was dumb. Extremely dumb. I lightly punched his arm as if it was some sort of punishment for putting himself in danger like that. He only retaliated with a soft chuckle. His smile faded, however. Not all of them are new, though. He shifted uncomfortably. I gave him another moment. I was kind of a troubled kid. Got bullied a lot, and well, I got pretty tired of it, that it got physical. So, those cigarette burns were from your bullies? No, they were from my older brother. Jesus. What? You have a brother? He did that to you? I have 3, actually. This was spinning my entire world. Alan must have been through a lot. Is that why he's in the woods, to escape from it all? We were pretty dysfunctional. Mum was constantly in and out of hospital, so 2 of my older brothers had to take care of us. The eldest, he burnt cigarettes on me whenever I would win in a fight, telling me I finally became what I was meant to do. It was to fight back and not let others push me. I'd hate to say it worked. What about your other brothers? Second eldest wanted to pretend that everything was fine and ignored our problems. He was desperately trying to be like the dad of our group. When I didn't need one, I wanted a brother. He heavily sighed after his rant. I kept quiet myself to let him continue. My youngest brother? I got along with him at first, but He wasn't the worst out of all of them, but we had a fallout. I'm sorry. It's alright, they were nothing compared to my school life. I got called crazy-eyed Alan by my entire class. I only gave him a sad expression, feeling incredibly sorry for him. I scooted closer to him, practically touching shoulders. I can't imagine how long you must have endured it. One instant in particular pushed me over the edge. That day, I decided to drop out of school, leave my family, and never look back. We both stayed silent, continuing to look up at the night sky. I always thought I was meant to be alone. I didn't like being around people. I started to feel his hand starting to brush against mine. That was until I met you, Doe Eyes. He took hold of my hand, squeezing it tightly. It made my heart race. Alan. I look over to him, meeting his eyes, giving me the softest expression I've ever seen from him. I think your eyes are beautiful. I think you have very beautiful eyes. A smile slowly creeped onto him and I could see his face reddening. Thank you. I think I should go back home now. Alright then. We both got up from our spot. I stretched out my arms, feeling a yawn coming up. Alan noted, standing beside me. Let me carry you. It's fine, Alan. I'm just a little tired. Before I could get on my feet, I felt his arms hook around my legs and back and proceeded to pick me up from the ground at ease. Hey! He gave me a smile, holding me closer to his body. I insist. I gave in, pouting on the way there before my eyes began to grow heavy. I leaned onto his chest, making him my personal pillow, and rested my eyes. I could barely tell what was going on around me, only feeling my body being set down on something soft and comfortable. I smiled, cuddling up to something soft I could find next to me. Before I drifted off to sleep, something warm pressed against my cheek, and I heard Alan's voice. Good night, Doe Eyes. Oh my god. I really love these visual novels, especially the ones that have storylines like this, because it gets so attached to the main character. The last one that I played as well was really good, so nice job for the person who made this. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you. Bye.